Greetings, fellow RotoBallers. It is the Checkdown. It is the 2021 season. My name is Joey Christopoulos, and we are here today to talk to you about our favorite sleeper and bust at the quarterback position in our preseason edition of the Checkdown. Let's check in with my co-host, Tutty Guy, Dave Rispoli. Hello, Dave. Football's back.
Joey, I'm so excited, and especially to talk quarterbacks, our bread and butter, baby. This is what the Checkdown is all about. Let's dive into it.
And we actually get to talk about some good ones this time, which is also very fun.
Usually we're put in a corner and told to only talk about the waiver wire guys and Ryan Fitzpatrick. And guess what, Joey? For some reason, he's not going to be on the list today.
So our series is going to be hitting some just quick hit. We're going to go through all the position battles at the quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end position. Today we're doing quarterback. Keep in mind, this is the first week of the preseason, so opinions evolve over time. But our sleeper and bust, this is how it's going to work. Sleeper is anything that's a 7th round or later value, something that we really think if you put that on your fantasy team, you're not only going to win some games, you might actually find yourself a starter. And a bust, anything 5th round or higher, maybe a guy that's just a little bit overvalued right now that might not get you the production that is worth the ranking. Dave, let's open it up right now. Who is your sleeper for 2021?
I'm gonna space this one out for you, Joe. I'm gonna really make you work for this. With a stat. There are 5 quarterbacks that have been drafted number 1 overall since 2010. Okay. Out of those who have started at least 13 games, they've averaged 3,900 passing yards and 21.8 touchdowns. What if I were to tell you could get the number 1 overall draft pick this year and also number 2 in my best hair ranks? He's moving up quickly. He could be number 1 by the end of the year. Don't you cut it. And you could get him in the 10th round of ESPN and Yahoo leagues, Joey. It's Trevor Lawrence, right? I mean, for me, all of the other rookie I almost called him running backs because I was about to say Trey Lance. Lamar Jackson's like, hey, man, we're quarterbacks. All the other rookie quarterbacks, Joey, are getting all of the buzz in the fantasy community. Trey Lance is shooting up draft boards. Everyone's talking about Justin Fields, as they should. But for me, Trevor Lawrence is the only guy who's locked in to play a full season. Now, I know we should timestamp this. Urban Meyer said today there's going to be a QB competition between Gardner Minshew and Trevor Lawrence, Joey. Yeah, okay, sure. Someone brought fine wine to the party and everyone's like, oh, hold on. We may end up drinking natural light. No, we're not. We're in our 30s. Break open the nice wine. Give me the guy you paid buku draft capital for. Trevor Lawrence, Joey. And as I said, the NFL has a good eye for quarterbacks. They've done well with these number 1 overall draft picks, despite Jamarcus Russell's, but even Baker Mayfield had a decent fantasy season as a quarterback. I love his rushing upside. This is a guy in 15 games in 2020, Joey. He had 563 rushing yards and 9 rushing touchdowns. It's not just Trey Lance. It's not just Justin Fields. Trevor Lawrence will also use his legs.
It's a great sleeper. It's the number 1 pick in the draft. And Dave, I got to ask you, if you were running a hair draft, where would you be picking Trevor Lawrence's hair right now? Right at the top?
I told you he's my number 2 ranked right now, only behind young Tom Brady. It's a dynasty league.
I was going to say, yeah, it's a keeper league right there. You want to get it. You want to get it insured, head and shoulders, do the whole thing. Look, what I found so surprising about Trevor Lawrence is the number 1 pick in the draft, and I think if you go around in a lot of different fantasy leagues, he's anywhere from 12 to 13, just on the fringe of being a QB1 in most 12-team standard formats. We find that value to be pretty nice and something that you can really invest in. You mentioned the rushing yards. What I just think is that Trevor Lawrence is going to have the ball in his hands a lot this year. Now, look, they got James Robinson, Travis Etienne, and the ghost of Carlos Hyde in the backfield. Etienne's going to see some of that pass-catching ability, but what happens in the red zone? Are they going to trust Trevor Lawrence to make those throws in the red zone? No, they're going to keep it in his hands, and I think we're going to see a lot more of those rushing touchdowns, which I like a lot about him as well. You know, they got DJ Chark. They got Marvin Jones, who's a great sleeper value from a wide receiver position. And Urban Meyer, he wants to show out. He wants to show that offense off. I think over time, Trevor Lawrence is going to continue to get better as the season goes along. I like that value too as well. Is he going to have big game after big game? Maybe not. I just think it's crazy that we're talking about a rookie quarterback that might have a really high floor, and that's a great place to work from. That's why I also like sleeper Trevor Lawrence. It's great value.
Yeah, Joey, and we're not telling you that this should be your only quarterback. Definitely, if you get Trevor Lawrence, maybe get a nice high upside pick later in the draft. Hey, maybe this is the year to just go ahead and draft 2 rookie quarterbacks. Trevor Lawrence in the 12th round, Justin Fields in the 15th, 16th round, unless you're in our league, which is our all Bears fans, and he's going to go number 1 overall to our buddy Trevor. Okay,
we never had a chance.
Let's talk about the bus, because Joey, you told me to pick a bus. You told me it had to be in the first 5 rounds. The names of the possibilities are all superstars, right? Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, Dak. Without an injury, I don't see any of those guys busting except for one. And you know this hurts me to say, Joey. You know, come on.
Oh, this isn't just hurt. It hurts, Dave. That's what's going on right now.
You're in mid-season form, my friend.
This is the rookie at the elite fantasy quarterback table, and we're immediately telling him to go make us a plate of food and come back. We're talking about Justin Herbert, a guy that we loved, I believe, from week 2 all the way to the end of last year on the check down. Thank you for watching if you remember that. But here's the deal, is that I just think that he's a little overhyped right now. 31 passing touchdowns, 5 rushing touchdowns. That's a 36 total that I just find really hard for him to be able to match or eclipse this season long. They have a new coaching staff. They're on a team that, look, has a ton of great weapons, but the Chargers were a bad team last year. If you watch them on Red Zone, he was throwing a lot of garbage touchdowns when they were down by 17 points. What's that going to be like this year? Are they going to be in more games? Is Justin Herbert going to have to make better decisions on third downs in those crucial third and fourth quarter situations? That's my big question. I think that can kind of hurt someone's fantasy value a little bit. It's just everyone's talking about him a little bit. And when you've got guys like Tom Brady, you got guys like Aaron Rodgers, and then dudes that you compare with those dudes like Trevor Lawrence further down the trough, rounds later than Justin Herbert, I'm just calling it a bust, man. I think it's going to be hard for him to live up to that hype. What say you?
Joe, you and I know better than anybody. We watched so much Justin Herbert. We chose Justin Herbert almost every week and daily. We're making money for a while. And then all of a sudden, Joey, we weren't, right? We know that he slowed down as that second half went on. Anthony Lynn, I mean, we should just throw out last year altogether. Anyone who's been under Anthony Lynn should just get a pass, whether they were good, bad, ugly, doesn't matter. That guy knew he was leaving. Who knows what was happening? Brandon Staley comes in, a defensive-minded coach. Maybe he really coaches up what I think is going to be a defense that could really take a step forward. They always get bit by the injury bug. Maybe that doesn't happen this year. Maybe they're a better running team. Look, like you said, I like all the weapons. I think, yes, if you pick Justin Herbert, you're not going to lose your league. He's not going to be, a bust that's going to finish outside the top 15 quarterbacks. But where he's going, around Aaron Rodgers, around Matt Stafford, he's the same kind of quarterback. Not a ton of rushing yards in this guy's book. And I just think the one thing that no one's talking about, Joey, is the crowd. I feel like that's the X factor. He played a full season last year without a crowd. Mm-hmm. And you and I know from living in Los Angeles, the Chargers only have away games because when you're home in Chargers Stadium, everyone's rooting for the other team. And that's going to play a factor in the huddle, getting the calls of this new system he's got to learn. I just think that that's, we're talking about, minuscule things, but when you're deciding between Aaron Rodgers, Matt Stafford, Herbert, and Tannehill, and they're all going around the same zone, you got to nitpick. And for me, Herbert's behind all of those guys.
Yeah, we're not trying to drag our boy down too hard, but we just think that for the value, you can probably fill out your roster in more of a productive way, and you can wait a couple of rounds and still get a similar production to a Justin Herbert a little bit later in the draft, which is why we're calling him a bust. And also, Dave, you and I both know that wonderful new Los Angeles app. It's like that Pokemon app where you pull it up and it kind of shows you where Chargers fans are, and you have to drive long distances just to try and find them somewhere, and then you go, I got it, I got a Chargers fan. That's going to be happening a lot this year too as well. So
and they're wearing like just a tattered Phillip Rivers jersey. Poor guys. I mean, geez, is there anything worse than being a Chargers fan? If you're a Chargers fan, comment below. Let us know what you think about Herbert this year. But I think that's going to do it, Joey. We got our sleeper. We got our bust. Draft Trevor Lawrence and maybe buyer beware on Justin Herbert this year.
Yeah, and in your comments, tell us your favorite LaDainian Tomlinson memory from 15 years ago now at this point. But yeah, that's going to do it. This was the Checkdowns Sleeper and Bust Quarterback Edition for the preseason. Remember, these opinions are going to evolve over time, but if you're already starting to do some mock drafts, maybe you got draft right around the corner, these series are going to be crucial for you to figure out which way to go, one way or the other. My name is Joey Christopoulos. My co-host, David Rispoli, thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you watch all the other RotoBaller videos that are going on this page right now. Make sure you comment. Make sure you ask us questions, because just because this video is coming out now doesn't mean we won't answer your question 2 weeks from now as you get closer to week 1 of the NFL season. Thanks so much for checking out this one. RotoBallers, RotoBaller on. And remember, Dave.
Wait, is that a new catchphrase?
Yeah, I'm trying it out.
All right, man. Hey, we'll try out a different one each time, okay? RotoBaller on, everybody.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Make sure you tell a friend and watch this one and try and go win that league.
RotoBaller on.